Hey guys, it's Alex from the Disciples, and we're here. YCS Rio just happened. Yeah, fun event. Anyway, we've got Henry Bancroft.
Yeah, Mystic Mind Gaming.
We've got Father Tristan Pugh,
Uh,
and European champion Marcus Patel.
51 more weeks. Let's go.
If you didn't know, Marcus was literally going on about how he was the UK national champion for 3 years. So,
Wasn't me. It actually wasn't me.
bit sus, but yeah. So I feel like this is ongoing.
If I had that title, I'd never let it go.
Yeah, same to be honest. Imagine getting second place. Could it be me?
It was mainly for my CV, personally. It just worked out pretty well for my CV. I just didn't need to change it.
Idea.
That's sick. And now you've traded national champion for European champion.
Nah, but I got a job.
Yeah,
No one's gonna see the CV.
now it's
anymore.
changed. Now it's changed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we haven't really got too much to talk about this weekend, or like week. Yeah? Yeah. So we're just like, what's fun? Not really. YCS Rio just happened. Mystic Mine took down yet another
Opposite
event.
fun.
Let's go.
Is it-
Actually, love me some mine.
I'm not gonna lie, I kind
love
of
that.
wish they streamed this event, just because I kind of wanted to see, like,
Features are crazy.
yeah, the features would
The
have been
features
crazy.
could have been crazy. I mean,
It's also just
Truth
like,
versus Jesse
Yeah.
Cotton. in top
yeah,
eight.
yeah, like I just wanted to see the reactions to Mystic Mine, because like, I feel like if last weekend or what Euros was when we were all in, if like that was an American event or a different continent, and we were all watching at home, we'd have been like, oh, this is crazy, I want to see Mystic Mine take it down. But those of us in the venue,
Yeah.
we were shitting bricks about this Mystic Mine deck getting all the way to the finals. So like we were like the entire opposite. So like it's kind of crazy to see like a Mystic Mine deck just win an event again.
I was watching like the European Championship. Like so, I think it was Stevie that made it was Yatta. I think made a compilation of like European Championship highlights, and it was every single clip was Mystic Mine.
It was Mystic Mine, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, that was the highlight. Like, it's the highlight of every event,
Oh,
and it's
no.
so sad that Yu-Gi-Oh's got to this
How
point.
was
They
the
had
event?
no, they had a clip of Callum Cook being called oh, what is it? Was it Chad or something? I can't remember.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was my personal highlight.
I'm not surprised Mystic Mind took Rio though. Like,
Neither am I.
because I'm seeing the list that topped, and I was seeing deck lists that still have no Mystic Mind. Like, I looked at like 2 math mech lists that were like, yeah, if they activate mine, GG, fair play, first game.
Wait.
Why would
It's mad when like you can say that like meta trends like take a while to like catch up, but if you literally saw the past 5 events, surely you're thinking to yourself like, I'm gonna run into mine at some point. Like I need an out, at least
Surely not
1
this
to 2
event.
outs in my main deck.
you know what it is?
This is the one where mine will not turn up.
Surely
what
this
is-
one, right?
What I think is, I think people play against their friends, and their friends aren't playing like these cards, and they just want as much like
Yeah.
edge as possible against their friends. And when they're playing against their friends, they see this mine out, and like, oh fuck me, this is a dead card.
Yeah.
But yeah, you kind of just have
Yeah.
to like. I think
Yeah.
now, hopefully, I think people now will respect it more going into the
I
events.
agree.
I think that gives less incentive to play Mystic now. Like
Yeah,
I thought,
yeah,
like
I
people
agree.
wouldn't catch up for real, because now it's very weird to play Mystic Mine. Now, hope it should be if people respect it. I think the expectation is that people are going to start playing like these very odd Mystic Mine outcards, like what Vivid Tail. There's this another trap card that I saw, like destroys monsters. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like it like pops cards and then draws.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like the current decks that we have are actually like quite well equipped to beat Mystic Mine. They just elect not to.
Yeah, they just don't
Like,
want
as well,
to.
like,
Yeah.
you just don't want to like. Sprite has a searchable out. Like Mathmech has a searchable out. Like Tier can mill Galaxy Cycler. Like in theory, like there's just outs everywhere. But
Yeah, I was
Remains
kind of
strong.
surprised he wasn't playing any copies of the is it Field Barrier? Because it feels like it gets
Field Barrier. I think that was sick.
It was a
I
very
can't
rogue
see.
list. I think I like really rate it. Like his list was like very.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not
like,
saying it's not. It's
different.
From my
Same,
perspective,
I thought it was same for barrier too. Like,
it's
I
just
would've thought
yeah.
that.
From my perspective, it's just weird because like, the way I see it is, if the tier guy goes first and mills Galaxy Cyclone, surely your matchup just gets like infinitely worse. Like,
No, but he has like
Rivalry of the Worlds.
he still have like
Rivalry.
yeah, he has rivalry,
Yes,
he has
oh.
demise of the land, metaverse. He has like all the Ojama cards. I guess you can like clog zones sometimes.
Fucking
But
good Java card is so
Oh,
funny.
it works.
he has 6 Ojama cards.
It's like even if you don't mine them, Ojama plus rivalry is FTK. Like
Yeah.
Ojama
It's
plus
so funny.
Ozen is an
Like,
FTK.
the problem with field barrier is that like if you go field barrier against Sprite and they smashes your Mystic Mine, you never get to Mystic Mine them again.
You never
And
get
like
to- yeah.
and that seemed to be like a trend, was that even the tier element guys, like I can't remember who it was, but I think Triff was playing like a small Sprite engine to search smashers, so that works as like a pretty good mine out. I mean, it didn't matter because the guy played Curse of the Forbidden
Yeah,
Spell
he
as
was
well.
signing it. Hey, big up that, bro. That's so smart. Like, imagine, because Pack, I think, had 2 smashes in his deck. He's like,
yeah,
man,
yeah.
oh, best steal. Yes. Yours.
Yeah, I saw that post. That was funny. That tweet even. It's like I had 2 smashes. Cuss sealed seal. Easy. This game.
Easy game.
But no, to be fair, actually looking at it properly, I like his list. It's quite funny.
Well, like, how does he lose?
It's really funny.
Like, you load up the tier elements as the normal standard tier and Sprite list, and like nearly all of his hands win just easily.
Yeah.
Because of how
It's just the freest game 1 you could ever play.
because all the Sprite and tier cards and boards and all the interactions are just dealing with your opponent's monster cards, and it's just like their whole hand is just your opponent.
Also,
Yeah, the board's just.
I'd love to note that this is probably Big Koala's like first ever YCS top, and it won it. Like,
Let's go. Big up Big Koala.
is it Big Koala? I don't know what it is.
I don't even know what the other fusion is. I saw like a fusion, like the first one in the list. I don't know what it is.
I don't know what it is. I think it's a hero one though. That's my instinct. I think it's like Nebula Neos or something.
It's not Terra Firma, so
It's not Terra Firma, so it doesn't
Yeah, who
count.
cares?
But I have a regional
No.
top with Terra
Could have been
Firma.
Terra Firma's. Could have been Terra Firma's first YCS win.
No, that's gotta be me, bro. I've got to get
He
the.
could have done so many cool things with that extra deck. Like, if you think about it, he could have put all
is
his
funny.
favorite cards, 15 of his
Yeah.
favorite extra deck cards, and he could have won the event with all 15 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, Elemental Hero Nebula Neos.
Someone was saying that it's the first deck to win like an official Konami event with no monsters main decked.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Because we've had no trap main decks win events, which isn't really that surprising. So the only other thing we're
Yeah.
missing now is no spells main decked.
That's crazy. I mean, to be fair, if he wasn't playing
I mean-
like Lava Golem, and I assume there's another cards because there's no way he won with a 12-card side deck. But,
I was Unending Nightmare in the side apparently.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
okay.
weird champ.
If you just didn't play Lava Golem, he could have had no monster cards in his main or side,
Yeah. That'd be
which is
crazy.
hilarious for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dual monsters.
Yeah.
No monsters, and apparently the guy like didn't even really play Yu-Gi-Oh! He played mine to just not have to read new cards.
I
And he
respect
wins
it.
the event.
I
Not just
respect it.
not just tops and gets this like crazy prize card, but he wins.
Actually
Yeah.
wins the event.
Unreal.
Now,
Too easy.
oh, quickly on that prize card. That prize card's crazy. Like after seeing pictures of it, I really like the format they did for it. 'Cause it's like it says like
It's down.
it's stamped.
That
It
was
says it
so
was won.
cool.
It was won at this event. I love that. You got it for first place at that event. That is sick. That is so sick.
So wait, did the second place and third place also say it? Like,
I don't know. I'll see if I've got the photos. But I remember seeing the second place one.
Does it
something like
say-
Euro.
I don't think it said anything though.
Because it'd be cool for like, let's say national season, and it's like, oh, this was one at like UK, nationals. That would be pretty
Yeah,
cool.
it's so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but winner of the first Latin America YCS of the 2022-2023 season. That is sick. That's such a like a
That is
cool
sick.
thing to have on the bottom of a card.
That makes each of those first place prize cards individually unique as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It means that your first place prize card's worth more than. It's nice because like I won Euros, I got Dual Link Dragon. Bet you got Dual Link Dragon too, but they're the same Dual Link. They're the same card.
The same card.
And if anyone wants to buy either of those Dual Link Dragons, message us on Facebook. But yeah, though it. Me okay. I have a real gripe about prizing at the moment. Like, why do I just not get packs? Like, it's really getting to me now. That's 2
What do you mean?
events. That's 2 events. Nationals, 2nd place, 0 packs. I was sad.
You get packs.
Didn't get packs. Top 32
I
of
didn't get
Euros. Top 32 of
You had
Euros.
to win
Didn't
top
get
32
packs.
to get
You
packs.
don't get. Yeah,
I didn't get
not
packs.
right.
I apparently had to
16
win.
got packs,
Top
bro.
16 got like a
My man.
box and a half or some shit. Like, and I was a bit sad, to be
Ooh,
honest.
I don't get to RNG my prizing.
I just want that. I don't know what it is, but like, you ever just like get to the end of an event and you're like, you just want to open packs.
No.
Maybe
Yeah,
I was just
like you have spoils.
Yeah, maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just me. I'm
Yeah.
just like, I get to the end of the event, I'm like, oh, I did well. I want to open some packs. I don't know. But yeah. Anyway, that's just me.
Buy it if you want it.
No, I'm good. But yeah, so I guess like the main discussion point we wanted to go over on this event is just how floodgates are in Yu-Gi-Oh at the moment, because it's kind of an interesting thing. Crazily, Marcus won Euros last week or the week before with floodgates in his deck. This guy won with the Mystic Mine rivalry deck as well. The winner of the NAWCQ or NAC, whatever, won with rivalry and Mystic Mine as well. So we're kind of seeing a trend here. Maybe it's just me.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Like my theory is like, so you're building a deck, and you have to like build according to what you're gonna play against. If you're only gonna play against 1 floodgate deck and 15 meta decks, then of course you build for the meta decks. Like, it just makes sense. And then that just gives so much incentive to play floodgates. Like, it's so weird how it goes.
Agreed.
But they're not hard to counter. They're not really hard to counter, but it's just a case of you lose out. You're trading away either consistency in your main or consistency in your side. But I don't think it's that deep. I think everyone can give 6 plots to back row removal either in main or side.
Mm-hmm. I think just people aren't doing it because it's such a low percentage of the meta.
Yeah.
And also, even when they are playing against it, like a lot of these top decks will still beat these floodgate decks. Like a lot of the time, it's just like maybe that one in like 15 matches of your tournament, you'll play against a floodgate deck and you will just lose because you aren't as prepared for it, and they get luckier than like you can play. But then if the floodgate deck keeps on having that same match every single round of the tournament, they're gonna get deep like the Lars did at Euros, and then the guy who just won the Rio. Like, it's just crazy. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's so good for a floodgate player, really.
Like, especially maybe I was thinking about it like when we were doing our deck building, we had just Feather Duster and we sided evenly because it covers both. It covers the combo decks and then the back row decks as well. But even then, we only had 4 cards in our side deck. Oh, and
Yeah, we kind of just went
like.
Yeah, we just went on the basis that hopefully we just don't run into it.
Yeah.
Luckily I didn't, but
yeah, but like
there's so little in the tournament. It's hard to be like, okay, I know for a fact there's a high chance I'm gonna play like 14 matches against the top 2 decks. Do I maybe give 3 spots to? And it's tough, especially when you need as much edge as possible. It is a very tough decision to make.
That's the problem when like even if you're maining like slots to floodgate cards, and if they're specifically for like back row floodgates, and then you actually get paired against combo, and then you draw into these cards that are useless because they're not playing floodgates, they're just playing combo, then you put yourself at a disadvantage against arguably the best deck, just to have an edge against these worst, like theoretically worst decks, just because they have an instant blowout card.
Yeah.
It's like so it becomes so much like bracket luck of like what am I going to get paired against, and am I going to draw the right cards against it? Especially when you need like against like combo mirrors, you need as many cards as you could possibly have to draw into.
Yeah.
And then you're sacrificing those slots for cards to not lose to rivalry.
I know what you mean. That's why like cards which are really flexible are so important. Like Gabe, congrats, he topped Rio this last week, and he played Dynamiscus. Like that card is insane. Like it out floodgates. It's a great card against combo. Like yeah, I think just having cards which are flexible is really important. Like for Euros last week, I was maining the one Galaxy Cyclone because like obviously you could mill it out floodgates, but like it's actually good against like Sprite and Tier. Like you go second, like you actually like want to draw for card.
Yeah.
So our 6 smashers gone.
Yeah, no, I learned this because I played I literally played your deck at locals last week. because I was like, I'm done with plants for a little bit. And then I played it, and I'm just like, I kept drawing this one Galaxy Cycler. I was like, this is actually good right now. Like, this actually isn't bad. Like, and it kept on happening, and it kept on, like, every single time I drew, I was like, oh, that's good, sick. But I think it's just a weird spot, especially like with the beat cop thing, especially as well. Like that being in the that being something that's in the format somewhat. That's terrifying as well. Like
very scary.
It's just it's just such a weird spot to be in. Maybe it's just me, but yeah.
It's difficult to catch things at the right time as well, because like obviously when the beat cop thing, nobody thought about it really before Euros, but then it became known. So now people's mine outs become outs that also stop the beat cop thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then the beat cop thing falls off, and then you change outs to like Galaxy Cyclone, because it's like Vivid Tail is like probably awful against most of the decks. It's just good against like being a mine out.
Just good against
but then
mine.
so then you draw it in the tier matchup, and it's not as good, or against Sprite, and then. Then you'd rather have Galaxy Cycle. It's a weird cycle that like it goes back and forth between. You have to sort of catch it at the right time and predict where the meta is going to be and what cards you need to have.
And that's just like not reliable. It's just not reliable. I think you just need cards which like fulfill multiple roles.
Agreed.
Yeah, like cards like Evenly are really good for that. Like you said, like it's good against combo and it overlaps against floodgates. But I'm not sure that we have enough cards like that where you can't like fill a side deck with 15 cards that overlap against everything, because then your side deck would be so easy. It'd be so easy to build if you just could do that.
I know what you mean.
No, I think it just puts like a really weird dynamic on how Yu-Gi-Oh is right now and how it's going to be going forwards, because, well, maybe it's just like, again, my perspective, but I don't think these trap decks are going to be awful forever. I think at some point, as everyone is just moving towards all these like new decks, these new combo decks, these like almost powerhouses, I guess, you're then going to still have these trap decks that are lingering and are going to be good at some point. And whenever everyone moves off the format, and then they're just ignoring the trap decks, like these floodgate decks, these trap decks, just get better, and it's just...
So, that was my issue of the format before the Sprite and Tier format. Like, I didn't really like it because there was so many different matchups. There's so many different decks in that format, and you build a deck, you can't really cover the matchups of all the different decks, and your bracket could just be everything you didn't cover, and it was like pretty awful. What was the top 4 NAWC? It was Sky Striker, Sword Soul, Flunder,
something. Yeah.
And like, you can't build your deck to have a good matchup versus everything, and it's just like, it's just sometimes you just get an unlucky bracket, and maybe you respect combo and you run into Thunders and Sky Strikers. I don't know. It's weird. Some people like diversity in Yu-Gi-Oh, but sometimes it can be weird when you can't really account for everything. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe then you just have to learn every single deck, and that's your edge. You know how every single deck plays.
I actually really like this format. I really like this format right now, actually.
I agree. It's very fun.
Even though like the 2 top decks just feel so crazy, at the same time it feels like you can still win every game. Just by either playing better, just like deck building better, or just like making use out of like simple micro interactions. But it feels very rewarding, at least when I've been playing it so far.
I think the Euros top cut, how stacked the Euros top cut was, I think that's a representation. And you saw like the deck list afterwards. Like, it wasn't the best Sprite players weren't the one just had a generic Sprite list. They had some sort of tech, and they found like some cool little advantage, like you saw with Schmidt's boot cop thing and enemy controller. Like, I'm not surprised. You get with these 2 deck formats, you get rewarded for finding like a really cool tech card that interacts really well into what people are playing, and you get rewarded if you're onto that.
I
agree.
I was quite surprised by the econ thing, actually, because I mean, between us, we weren't really testing Sprite much. I don't think, and I played against.
I tested against it.
I tested against it. Like, I tested against like the Cicero guys on it, but then like round 3 or 4, I played against this Italian, and he just econed me game 2. And he took my seed, and I was like, "Fuck!" Like, he took the seed. I was like, "No." Because I baited out the smashes already, and I was like, okay, there's nothing I lose to here that just like removes my body off the board. And he just econed me. I was like, that must be such an edge in any of the mirror matches as well.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I like that card as well.
Sick card.
It's a card, but yeah, it just shows the deck building advantages.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we've got.
I think.
Oh, sorry.
So go on.
No, you go on. You go on.
I was just going to say, another reason why I think like trap cards and floodgates have like made a comeback is the disappearance really of Brave in the format.
Mm-hmm.
Because before, like Brave was everywhere. It was just like every deck had a generic out to all these floodgates.
Yeah.
But now, like yeah, we can see them coming back in.
I think
It's interesting because for a song like Brave Sprite, which top heroes, I thought that was cool.
yeah,
Like I was wondering how that match up into mine would be because they have 2 outs to mine, which both beat Cop.
yes,
True.
yeah. I think you can definitely see that probably also came into effect in Rio as well, because like you saw Triff made top 8, and he was playing the adventures cards in Sprite. So again, he's got 2 outs to a mine. Obviously the adventure one is more consistent because you've got essentially 3 copies of it, 4 copies of it.
You said he was curious milling it all the time as well.
That seems cool. But yeah, no,
His deck seemed very cool.
I haven't actually looked at it yet. That's my job for after we finish with this. But yeah.
He was going through like a combo, and he said that like Gigantic Splight is like 10 interrupts, and everybody's like, well, that doesn't make any sense. Like, of course it isn't. But then he actually goes through the combo, and he ends on Elf IP, and then he goes in their turn, Chilling 1 Elf, Chilling 2 IP, make Bomber, and then Bomber. So then the Elf summons Merly mills, Bomber blows it up, and then it summons Kit Kalos. Kit Kalos adds Havness, and then it blows it up again, and then Havness mills 5. Kit Kalos mills 5. Then the activate monster effect, and then Havness summons into Bomber Zone again, and then it summons again.
Yeah.
It summons a Garuda, so like it triggers Bomber like 5 times in the opponent's turn, and against
Yeah.
Splight, like I don't understand how you beat that.
You don't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's funny.
it was really cool.
Did you you didn't play Bomber, did you, Bancroft? You played Apollo.
I did not. I played Apollo and Zeroboros.
Yeah, see that's the change I made for locals, because I saw this Bomber thing and I was like, yo, I'm playing this 100%. Bomber
Yeah,
seems
Bomber's sick.
crazy.
Bomber's sick.
I played Zeroboros as well because I was like, that's big, and that means I can kill them. Smile. But
Seemed
no,
like the easiest way to OTK.
Yeah, we could talk about the lack of like Sprite decreasing in popularity, well, in representation in Top Cut, because I think Top Cut in Brazil had more Tearlaments than Sprite, and it depends if you think we'll continue to see this trend. 'Cause the Tear players are getting better, and they're building their decks better.
I think it's.
And they've had an event to look at now, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Euros had like the big outburst of Danger Tier, and it was like supposed to be this secret deck before the event, and then obviously tons of like I don't know what the representation for it for the event was, but in Top Cut there was obviously like loads of it. Like most pro players felt like they were on Danger Tier.
Agreed. I feel like you also just see like a lot of variation with the Danger Tier as well, because it hadn't been standardized. Like there was loads of people on like 10, 11 dangers or whatever, and then there was some like on 5 or 6, and then some were playing like less of the tier names. Like I saw someone playing like 2 Merly, 2 Rhino Heart and stuff like that. So again, it gets just more standardized.
It's definitely like more ways to refine it. I feel like eventually there will be like the best Danger Tier list for. But I mean that, like we were saying, like that can change from event to event as well.
Yeah, it will definitely change from event to event, to be honest.
It just depends on how you want to tech out the deck for X event, right? Because you've probably got like I don't know how many slots are in your deck. You've probably got like 8 or 9 slots just for techs. Oh, he's had enough.
He's had enough.
We're not talking about the floodgates.
Floodgates, the Tier's now gone. Yeah. There's like so many builds of Tier, like so many different builds. It's like very hard to like prepare for Tier.
Yeah,
definitely. There's so much that deck can do. Like so many different variations of end board, like different like routes to go through your turn. Like that deck is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's seeing as much play as it is.
Yeah, because I think the more we go in this format, I think we'll see slightly more Tier than Sprite. I think it has, it's a 2-deck format, and I think Tier has a decent matchup into Sprite, like more than 50-50.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think
So,
it
yeah.
just beats.
I mean-
Yeah, I mean,
it
like,
just
most-
beats Sprite boards are going second, like majority of the time.
Yeah.
Like most tier players say that like they would rather go second against Splight, or like they have like Bancroft was saying like his matchup versus Splight was like favourable when he went second rather than going first, just because
Yeah.
breaks their
Yeah.
board.
But the Sprite players tested just breaking the IP, Elf, Smash. That's what they're testing. They're like, I can break this board consistently. So why not?
Yeah.
Who's to say that's what you're going to play against? For there's for like branded variants, there's the adventure variants, there's for like pure variants of like skill drain. There's just a lot.
I think.
And now
Yeah,
there's
I think going back to the point on Splight, I feel like it's I don't want to say it's not the format for it, but I feel like as the format progresses, the Splight builds will also just get better, and they will change. Because
Will they not?
I think so. I think there's still room for improvement. Like there's like the adventure build is obviously like one way to start. Then there's also just the way of taking Splight as an engine, as you've seen in some of the decks this weekend with having it as an engine in Tearlaments, just so you
Would
end
you
on
call
like
it Sprite
Metal
then?
Toad.
Would you call it Sprite then? It's not.
No, it's kind of like how the decks are like something punk adventure, like.
Yeah,
I guess it's like utilizing Sprite,
Yeah.
like could be more refined going into the format, because like there was some people playing like one Jet, one Smashers. I think Jesse was playing that.
as a
right?
pure deck list, do you think Sprite would decrease like a lot?
Yeah, I'd say so.
not a lot, but it will definitely decrease.
I think if the end board
I
just
think
keeps
it's-
getting like
Yeah.
bullied, then there's like not a lot of reason to play it.
I think
It's,
I guess
oh, sorry.
I mean, like obviously that deck has got like a lot of room for tech. So like if you are super confident that going into this event you're going to play against tons of tier element, and you can find like the best techs versus tier, and then just play against tier constantly, then there might be like a Splight deck that is the best deck for that event, purely based on like the techs you can play and like what your matchups are
No, I
going to
agree.
be. But
Yeah,
it's going to
I
be
agree.
hard to like hit, like you'd have to like be constantly on top of the meta, and not only know what the meta is going to be, but know what the best thing to beat that meta is going to be,
yeah.
and
No,
then also get those matchups.
Yeah.
I think Sprite's biggest problem is
And-
obviously all the decks respecting Sprite, and Sprite also having to respect itself, and it just becomes stuck. Like I think Sprite can actually,
Yeah.
will just leapfrog back when decks start respecting tournaments a lot more, and Sprite can
Yeah.
respect tournaments a lot more too.
Because I think
I know what you mean. I think. Sorry. Do you
No,
wanna
you go.
I think Sprite's biggest weakness is that its weaknesses are like so exploitable. Like when you play against Sprite, you like know exactly like what you're supposed to hit. Like if you open like a hand against Sprite, you could like imagine in your head like how the turns are going to go and how like you're going to break it. When you play against T, you can have like 2-3 hand traps, 2-3 ball breakers. It's like tough. It's like you have to think much harder, I think.
That makes sense.
yeah,
Isn't
Yeah,
that
there's
how
like a lot more
deck?
room to misplay against those decks.
Like you
Yeah,
build your
yeah.
deck because you know what you want to see into the Sprite board, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. It's very easy to like visualize. You're like, yep, so I poly this, and then GG.
Yeah, I also think we're in a board breaker format right now as well, and I think that's not a format where Splight thrives in personally. I don't think.
You know what does thrive in a board breaker format? Telephone FTK.
I knew you were saying this. I knew you were saying this. But because we're in a board breaker format, I think Splight just gets a lot worse because you get like any like board breaker or any combination like 2 board breakers versus Splight board, you're kind of just left on nothing, and then your opponent just has like free range to do whatever they want. Whereas like if Splight board breaks, you're majority of the time you're probably not dead. You might get Mystic Mind beat copped, but that's like the worst that can happen. And like, besides that, it's
Yeah.
just a bit like.
Yeah, but actually not good at ball breaking.
No,
Like,
it's not.
Or just say it straight up.
No,
Or
it's
just
really
say it
not.
straight up.
Because half of its starter
most-
cards just like lock you out of like fucking Zeus.
Fuck you out.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
that's
the
why
best
it's
board
sick.
breaking card.
Yeah, as I
like
know, yes.
Zeus, and then you just don't get to.
Yeah, you don't get to this.
Yeah.
We're like leader starter, and you're like, okay, so I'm gonna keep like all of my cards this turn. Like,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, it's kind of tragic, but I think it's just seeing how the format goes, because I do think Sprite's like a very powerful deck, as we all know. But I think it just, yeah, very much depends on where the format keeps developing to, because I don't think hand traps are the way to go right now, because I don't think the hand traps do enough versus the danger deck. Or the tier deck, sorry.
I think it's more so Sprite has so many, like, has the ability to play so many non-engine cards.
Yes.
But if you're going, yeah, but if you're forced to play the non-engine cards just for the mirror, it's like you're kind of like saying to each other, like, yo, let's, yeah. So I don't know what the word is, but you just respect each other enough where you both struggle to win. Yeah, I think that's just what makes it tough.
Yeah, I feel like getting an edge of a Sprite mirror is very hard. I don't know. That's what
that seemed like the takeaway. Like when I saw people talking about like testing for Euros and stuff, that like finding the edge in the Sprite mirror seemed impossible. Like it was always 50-50.
Enemy controller makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. But then,
Wait.
What is Bertie looking at?
I've only just seen Triff's list, right?
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm like.
I haven't seen it on paper. I've watched the video. And the engines just kept going.
Yeah,
It felt like he was like reading off 4 different decks.
He's playing 6 dangers, one of which is Bigfoot, so he is attacking for 8k. Then he's playing like he's not playing Rhino Heart, and he's playing like
Wait, what?
Free share and
so he's
free
playing 0 Rhino Heart.
Yeah, free share and free Havness, 1 Merly, 2 field spell,
1 Merly.
1 Merly.
Yeah, he was so in the deck profile. The reason he said there's 1 Merly is that his Kit Kalos always gets Merly out of the deck and always sends it to the grave to always mill 8. So he just never needs the Merly again.
I kind of get it, but it's a bit weird, champ. Then he's got like.
I mean, he got top 8. I believe.
He's playing 2 right, 3 Water Women.
No, that's correct. That's correct.
that's right. I was trying to say that in the chat too when we were fearing like that makes sense.
Then 1 of Blue Jet Red. Swap Engine, 1 Soul, 1 Illusion, which seems a bit weird, champ as well.
Because he plays Celine.
I also see it because he's playing the field spell. He's playing Brave cards.
And he's playing Celine, so like as long as it's the graveyard,
he mills it right.
Yeah.
And if he's getting to like the spell cards, like a high probability enough times, it makes sense. Like especially if no one's playing hand traps, and you're assuming your full combos actually resolve.
Yeah, it just looks weird on paper. I might try it, to be honest. Look at all the cards, but
it
looks like a very fun deck to play.
Yeah.
If you loaded that deck up on DB, I bet you'd have a blast.
Because I'm just looking at it, and he's like, he's not. It doesn't look like he's using the tier cards as like to generate disrupts. He's using it as like a starter engine.
Like extenders.
Extenders,
it's like he's using them to get to Gigantic, because Gigantic gets to the bomber board, and then the bomber board like fills your grave with like 20 cards for snow.
Yeah,
and then you do snow into bomber zone, and then do snow again, and then do snow again.
I like it. It seems cool.
What non-engine is he playing?
3 Dark Room.
Is that it?
Yes.
Oh, okay, sick. I mean, if it works, it works.
Your mic like rubbing up on something.
Yeah, Henry, bro, your mic's full of madness.
Oh, sorry, bro.
Sounds like you're scraping something under the table. Like you are carving in your name under the table.
It's good now.
Nah, backwards yeah. For the church this week. That's all I know. But yeah, sorry to just ruin the chat, but I was like, what the fuck?
That's all good. We've got Editor James on the job.
So yeah, Rivalry of Warlords. Do you think it should be banned, Marcus?
No, not really. Like you could just, if it's a big enough problem, you could just play a different deck. Like I don't think the card's too oppressive, and you can play around it with Tearlaments too. Like if you're seeing like a Cyberse only deck, and you're seeing a 1 type only deck, and it's post side, you definitely can just adjust your plays and like take the most correct line. I don't think.
Yeah, as a follow up, do you think that's part of the reason MathMech did so well this weekend? Maybe people were overcompensating from last weekend and were playing Rivalry, and then MathMech just.
Might just be result.
Yeah. Oh no.
I mean, Gabe said he was selling like a lot of
Young
circulars
Dominic.
in Brazil.
It's seven. I heard $7 each is what I heard.
That's
Infinite
wild.
money
I
gold.
mean, the deck is like actually really good.
Yeah, it is. It's on my,
Like,
it's
I
on my
don't-
deck for regionals. I need to get it all.
I don't mind rivalry as a floodgate as much, just because like Marcus was saying, like some decks I just don't care about it. So like it's
Yes,
not good in
agreed.
every
Yeah.
matchup you're ever gonna play. Like also like you can like main cards to beat it, like or even extra deck cards.
Yeah.
Like you can have like if you can get to enough fiends, you can make Phoenix to pop it, or make Unicorn to spin it, or Access
Yeah,
Code to pop
agreed.
it, whatever. Like there are like
Yeah.
There is
there are
always
like
like an out
some things
sort
you
of
can
out.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are like some
Most
things you can
engines
do,
power
but
rivalry. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But like,
It's like-
the
Rivalry paired with something is like
It's,
Huh.
that's,
Thing, right?
yeah.
I mean, yeah, like the problem, biggest problem with the Floodgate is Mystic Mine is the perfect example where it doesn't matter what your monsters do because they don't do anything. You can't adjust your extra deck for Mystic Mine. If there was a card in the extra deck that just said special summon this card
I
by
wish.
removing
I
Mystic
do
Mine
wish.
from the field,
yeah.
there would be no problem because everybody would just play that
Yeah.
card. Or like a monster that said like special summon this card by sending a spell your opponent controls to the grave. Maybe that card exists,
yeah.
but like, I feel like that is the problem. Is that you need spells and traps are very narrow. Like I remember
Yeah.
Schmidt was talking about like a generic spell that is good against combo and good against mine. Like literally, I can't remember what he called it, like Chalice of the Twister in the Chalice or something. Like target a face-up card on the field and either negate it or destroy it, something like that.
Oh, my card
like-
sounds so broken.
If that card existed, like I feel like mine just wouldn't be that much of a problem.
No.
But then the problem becomes
Yeah, it
that
wouldn't.
that card is so generic that you have like almost no reason not to play it in every deck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think Konami likes those kind of cards.
It's just like Imperm but better, right? Like
They used to.
somewhat.
There's
They
no
used
card
to.
like it.
no.
It's like Dynamiscus. Like, I think
Yeah.
Dynamiscus is like the only card I can think of.
Yeah.
It's the closest thing to it for sure.
That almost
Like Silent Crosswipe.
Sonic Crosswipe's cool. Like that's a good math mech card.
Yeah.
But if that card was just generic and it was like tribute a monster you control, pop a card in the field, why doesn't that exist
Yes.
by now?
It would be better.
But it's-
It would be better.
It does exist. It does exist, bro.
Oh.
It's called a Ballista
Yes.
Squad.
But
Yeah,
the
you're right. You're
front
right.
card, the-
Damn. Okay, buy out Ballista Squad. Oh my god.
That's crazy.
I think we're coming near the end, and I want to ask Marcus one important question.
Sure.
Am I allowed to play Paleo yet?
Sprite
Oh,
Paleo,
no.
sure.
Yeah, that was the main
Yeah,
one,
that's right.
Sprite Paleo. Yeah, but I was thinking, have you seen
Not
these?
sure,
Actually, no. There was
Paleo.
I saw a Paleo, the Schmidt Paleo deck, and it was playing like what's it called? Tearlaments cards.
Right?
Yeah.
Can I play those?
Tier cards.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
yeah,
you
watched-
just mill
it's
your
so sick.
Paleos. You just mill the Paleos,
Oh,
right?
is it?
Yeah.
That's it.
I watched
like, no
I watched one
bad
of
bills in the
Schmidt's
deck.
videos. He goes like his opponent's like playing his turn. He's like playing telephone FTK, and then Schmidt goes Havness, mill, backjack,
Yeah.
and then like the backjack gets to Canadia, and then he gets to play on his opponent's turn and like activate traps during his opponent's
Yeah,
turn,
it was too funny.
and then the
It
opponent
was
just
too
quits.
funny. He quits.
That's pretty
Yeah.
mad.
He went like +6 and had like 2 in.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
like,
it was
Yeah.
crazy. I remember this. That was a funny one. That's why I want to play it. That deck seems
Actually,
funny.
peak Flunder experience. Your turn, our turn.
Yeah, it looks fun though.
Our turn.
I'm not gonna lie. Me and Gabe are working on Yo, Bancroft, do you want to come to Ireland as well? Actually.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
Oh. No, it's
I've already
Gabe.
been to Ireland
No,
this year.
Gabe. There's no.
I've already
Gabe.
been this year.
Bancroft. There's zero. Right. It's a
go on.
£25 flight. We are going Friday
Uh-huh.
evening to Sunday morning, so you don't need to
Oh,
book time
no.
off, Mark.
I'm actually being convinced.
Yeah, don't have to book
Wait,
any time off
It's
work.
£25 flight.
£25 return.
I'm actually.
So,
Okay, then.
see. This is why. This is
Okay,
why I'm sold.
okay.
This is why I'm
I'm
sold.
being convinced.
And we get to
What's
see
the
Cormac.
accommodation saying?
We'll sort that out at a later date. But
Oh, come on, bro.
no, I haven't looked at that.
You're only there for a day.
Yeah.
There for like a day and a half. What do you need accommodation for?
Exactly.
I'll sleep on the streets.
It's like a 6 a.m. flight home, so like we're basically staying in the airport. Like, come on.
Grim. Oh wait, true. Wait, so we get there. Yeah, 6.
Yeah, see, you're sold, right? Yeah, calm. We can
I'm
play
actually sold.
we can play Paleo Tier Element. There we go. We can learn the mirror
I'll
match
play-
inside and out.
I'm playing MathNet. I'm doing equations.
Yo, go on, gamer.
That looks so fun.
It looks
That's
fun.
so fun.
I want to play the Ignister one as well. I want to summon the big towers guy and then have the trap set and win. Smile. But yeah, so shout out to the podcast. I'm going to bed soon. Thanks Tristan. It's been a minute. Sick. Shout out to everyone that's been on. Shout out to Brotherhood Games. Oh, yes. Oh god, yes. Card Market, MetaMats, Gamers Apparel, Card Market when Guy gets back to me, and not the Flag People. And if you see any of us at any foreign events,
not the Flag People.
Yeah, the Flag People are they're nearly as bad as Gamers Apparel, but less. But yeah, if you see us at any foreign events, come say hi. I love Italians. Goodbye.
I love Italians too.